Hello everybody, Road Warriors 627 here, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. It is the third installment of One Turn Route, and it's time for our second interview on the show, our second real proper episode after the introduction. Last time we had Jack Sargent of Racing Rundown on, and now we've got, as I used to call, the Wonder Kid of horse racing, the guy who helps me out on almost all my racing preview videos, the one, the only, Sammy Roseman. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good today. I hope everybody had a good New Year's and a good start to the new year.
Yeah, we could only pray for that after all the shit that happened last year. So I got a
Yeah.
few different questions, and I'm gonna break them up into the same categories I did with Jack the other day. We're gonna start with boring, generic questions. Then we're gonna move
hmm
on to more interesting questions. We'll talk a little bit about the year-end Eclipse Awards and your opinions on those, and some of the horses that ran in 2020, and then we'll finish off with the New Jersey game show O's Speed Round. We're going to end with the speed round, as always. So let's dive right into this, Sammy. What got you interested in racing? The most generic question I could possibly ask.
So basically my dad and my uncle and my dad's dad, yeah, my grandpa, they just all really like my grandpa especially really like racing. So my dad once in a while would just bring me to the track when I was younger. And so it was 2017 and it was in the summer and it was like I think right after the Preakness, so or a little bit after, and I searched up Always Dreaming because he won the Derby that year, and it said he was pointing to the Haskell, which is in New Jersey, where I'm from. So basically, we went there, even though he didn't run there, and then after that, it just clicked from there, and I just started liking it more and more.
Yeah, I believe he had a bad performance in the Jim Dandy.
Yeah.
That's where he wound up running. Okay, let's move on to something a little bit different. That's a great story, by the way. Even though it's a little common, including me, I got into it because of my dad and him taking me to Belmont when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Uh, what's your favorite race every year and why?
Um, probably the Pennsylvania Derby because it's close to where it's my home track, and it's cool to see the big horses and the jockeys and trainers come for that day, and I just like it a lot.
Kind of building off of that, is there a race every year that you tend to pick a winner? A big stakes race where you tend to pick the winner every year? You tend to nail it as far as handicapping?
Trying to think, what race have I been good at? I've been good at the Whitney a lot of years. I remember it was either Whitney or the Woodward. I hit it straight 1, 2, 3, 4 one year. Just don't remember what year
It
or
was
what race.
2018 because it was Diversify, Mind Your
That was the Whitney, right?
Biscuits. Yep, Diversify, Mind Your Biscuits, Discreet
Yeah.
Lover, and the one horse. Who was the one horse?
Think.
Was it
Oh, you're
Tapprint?
playing.
Might have been
Yeah.
Tapprint.
Or Good Samaritan. One of
It
them.
was yeah, it was either
I
Tapprint
think
or
it was
Good
Tapper.
Samaritan. Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to do well in that race. I do good, even though it didn't go this year. I usually do good on a Beers Cup race or two, and I do good, really good on the Pennsylvania Derby. Those are my kind of races I do well on.
And the last boring slash generic question: what's the most exciting race you've seen in person?
Um, Definitely when Cortage won. That was, if you don't know, that was my uncle owned that horse, part of the horse, and the horse came back. She came back and won, and that was just very exciting.
At a good price. It kind of helped me
Yeah,
out too.
15-1.
Yep,
Something like.
that was good
Yeah.
stuff that day.
Mhm.
Okay, now we're going to finally move on to some more interesting questions. So I kind of asked you, is there a race you nail every year, stuff like that? But how about of all time? What's the best bet you've ever made or the best pick you've ever made throughout all the years of your life?
Happened this year. It was on Haskell Day, and so basically, I could tell the backstory if you don't mind.
Go ahead, please do.
So basically, me and my dad were struggling through the day. We weren't really hitting anything, and he just wanted to do a pick 5 or something. So we come onto this race, and I was trying to get picks fast, and I just started picking not random horses, but like if I saw like he closed a little bit, I'll pick that horse. I picked the big favorite, and then I picked another horse because I liked the jockey, but it turns out the jockey wasn't on that horse that day, but I didn't realize that. So I think the odds went off at 90-1, 60-1, and 2-5, and it hit. I think no, it's 55-1. It was 2-5, over 55-1, over 90-1. Paid like 1,800 or something.
Wow, that's excellent. And yeah, that was the day after we went to Monmouth. It was Haskell Day. I was stuck at a party that day. I wasn't really able to watch that much. Okay, so speaking of handicapping, when handicapping a race, what's most important to you? What's the most important factor you consider?
Improvement. That's what I like to see, class and improvement. That's what I mostly look at.
Okay, so moving away from handicapping and picks and stuff like that, let's ask a little bit more of the racetrack questions themselves. What's your favorite place to sit when you go to the racetrack? And if you have different places for different racetracks, let me know.
I actually don't usually sit. I just stand on the rail.
Oh, so you're a bird. You're a real
Kinda.
bird.
Besides, when I go to Belmont, I sit.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, true.
We talked about that at length in my video.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next 3 questions are all kind of interrelated. They're all about interactions you've had with pretty well-known people in the horse racing business. First of all, I know you get a lot of autographs. The day before the Belmont Stakes in 2018, I saw you were getting a ton of autographs on Twitter. What's the best autograph you've gotten?
Probably Mike Smith. Definitely. That was on Pennsylvania Derby Day.
Best interaction with a racing personality in person at the track?
A jockey?
A jockey, trainer, anybody. Doesn't matter.
Well, I talked to the owner. I talked to the guy that co-owns with my uncle. I talk to him a lot when I go to the racetrack. So if that counts.
And the best Twitter interaction you've had?
Definitely when Jay Prisman he like shouted me out when I hit the Whitney straight. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, when the national correspondent for the DRF shouts you out, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So that's great. All right, so that's the second category, the more interesting questions. Now,
Actually, I just think about it. The best autograph I definitely have is what I got a couple months ago. It's a Smarty Jones signed poster by everybody: the owner, the trainer, the jockey. So that's probably actually the coolest.
that is pretty damn cool. I never knew that you had that.
Yeah, my uncle gave it to me.
Okay, so let's move on to the Eclipse Awards and year-end discussion for 2020. Do you believe, I'm not going to go category by category like I did with Jack, because the more I thought about it, a lot of these awards are formalities. What do you think is the award that they're going to screw up?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. Maybe jockey? Because I don't know why, but I think they might go with Johnny V.
Yeah, on stats, NYRA had the best year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really that close. But yeah, the sentiment of Johnny winning the Classic and the Derby and giving plenty of other good rides. Look, he's still my favorite jockey too, but if we're just going based on stats, there's no way.
Um. Oh, this might be controversial, but there's a award I would take out. I don't like the Apprentice Award. I don't really think that's necessary, in my opinion.
Why do you think that?
Just because, just like have a lot of those times, like the jockeys just have one good year and then like they don't do anything, and it's just you
That's
go
true.
through you go through the years and there's jockeys like three of them are riding at Park's $5,000 races for a living now.
That's kind of sad, but you're absolutely right. It doesn't hold up. Uh,
Yeah, it's
Maybe
rare.
I wouldn't really get rid of any Eclipse Awards. I would get rid of certain Breeders' Cup races.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I would get rid of the Apprentice. It's just they don't usually turn out. If you get what I'm saying.
Okay, so now the most controversial question of all. Are you a believer in authentic?
For Horse of the Year?
Are you a believer that he was the most talented horse in the Breeders' Cup Classic field or the most talented 3-year-old? You know he's going to win both those awards.
Yeah.
But do you think he was really the most talented?
Um. Yeah. I think him or Mono My Girl. But the thing with Authentic is he just keeps going and going. He was talented and talented. He didn't look good in the Haskell, but after that, he just went on a roll. I think he probably was the most talented. Him or Mono My Girl is those were the best talented. I'm biased towards Mono My Girl, but it's close.
The thing with authentic that never really impressed me is in the two races he won, the big two races he won, the Derby and the Classic. He got away
Yeah,
with joke paces
yeah,
in
that's
both
true.
of them, and
It was a joke.
Manny Franco let him go up on the outside in the Derby, and he still didn't run the best race when you look at ground loss. And then in the Classic, he just got away with the easy pace, and more than that, the fractions weren't insanely slow, but they were
Hmm.
slow for a competitive race like that, and nobody pressured him at all. And Improbable ran
Yeah, it
a
was a
big
cakewalk.
race to be second in there.
Tesla was flat that race.
Oh yeah, he had nothing. And another thing I want to just, if we go off the video script a little bit here, what's with all these Bob Baffert horses getting soft tissue injuries?
I know, right?
And not only are they getting the same injury, or they say they're getting the same injury, but they're being retired. This is an injury that's recoverable. That's what I
Hmm.
don't understand.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, just wanted to get your quick opinion on that. And
Who
then
do you
one,
think was the most talented horse?
who?
Who do you think was the most talented horse?
The most talented horse this year, that's a really tough question because I really don't think that anybody was that talented. I don't think it was that impressive of a year in horse racing. Nobody really stood out to me, especially on the grass. I mean, if Channel Maker didn't win the two grade ones that he won in New York by open lengths, then there's no way he'd be winning the Eclipse Award, which he probably will, and I think he deserves it. But especially the turf, really nobody. The 3-year-old turf males were a good group, but
Hmm.
not overly impressive. The 3-year-old turf
Inconsistent.
fillies were eh.
The thing about the turf divisions, every single year, I feel like it's the same horses that run every single year. It's a repeated pattern with how they perform. Fifth, sixth, third, the win a grade one. You know?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it was just nice to have a change of pace in 2019 to see a horse like Bricks and Mortar just
Yeah.
assert himself as the most talented, as much as I'm not the biggest Chad Brown fan that there is. So that's really it. Are you ready for the speed round? We're going to use the speed round to let the viewers learn just a little bit more about you, Sammy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, this is a three-part question to begin the speed round. Favorite horse you've seen in person?
Favorite horse? Um, Mono My Girl.
Favorite horse you've seen on TV but not in person?
Tis the law.
Favorite horse you've seen all time? You don't even have to be alive.
Favorite horse, like
Of all time.
Secretariat. Secretariat.
Favorite
I can say
racetrack?
that. Belmont.
Favorite type of race?
Um, Dirt races, mile and a quarter.
So I was going to ask surface, dirt, turf, or poly track. You'll say dirt?
Yeah. But for value, it's definitely turf.
I completely agree. Favorite type of bet?
I go with my dad a lot, so exactas and tries.
I was going to ask you favorite advanced deposit wagering platform, ADW, but in New Jersey you're run by a monopoly, so you can't honestly answer that
Yeah.
question. Favorite announcer of all time?
Ooh. Tom Durkin.
That's 2 votes on this program for Tom Durkin. Well, 3 if you count my little introductory episode, because I said him too, of course. And then finally, Sammy, the last question in the formal interview. Please, it's not really a question, it's more of a request. Please give me one piece of advice for the average horse player.
Of how to like to learn better and stuff. Learn more.
Yeah, to handicap better, things about the game in general. It really doesn't matter. Just one piece of advice.
Don't rush. Don't rush to try to win races when you're down. Like, just don't start doing random tracks because you're down. If that makes any sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and I got caught up in that one day in my life, and I will never do it again. I started playing the Western
It
Fair.
can get bad.
Yeah.
The Western Fair.
The Western Fair, yeah, harness. That's how I knew I was done.
Yeah.
All right, Sammy, that's really what I had prepared. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the viewers out there?
Just good luck at the races.
Thank you very much. I think we're all going to need it in 2021. Obviously, we're praying that
Yeah.
racetracks are open, especially here in New York, because the governor's a freaking dick and doesn't care about horse racing and doesn't care about horse racing fans, as evidenced by the Islanders Arena. But we're going to hope for the best this year. Hopefully, we'll see you guys at the track, and hopefully, Sammy, I'll see you at the track this year at some point. You know I'll be down at Monmouth a few times.
Yeah. Monmouth's a nice track. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's probably my second favorite track now. I did like it. I liked it better than Saratoga because you could sit wherever you want. All right, that'll do it, everybody. Thanks for listening, and thanks for Sammy coming on. Pay your bills first, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.